Yay. Okay. So, welcome to you folks who are here. I know Connie and Dan are on the line, and maybe there's some other people hiding out in the background. And this is our inaugural Tuesday night training and learning session. And I thought a wonderful thing to do first would be to go through our presentation that we developed last fall, specifically on Immunocal. And we are recording. In case, if the dog starts barking or your place gets noisy, you can either hit *6, which will mute your line, or look around on your telephone. There's probably a mute button just on the telephone to mute yourself out. If you hit *6 and then you want to talk, you just hit *6 again, and you'll come back. So let's go ahead. We've got our PowerPoint to look at. And Connie, Dan, you can both see the screen that says Protect Your Health?
We can.
Yay. Okay. So, wonderful. So, there's my toothy face, and you're welcome. And let's assume that you showed up because you're interested in staying healthy and having good energy and recuperating from your intensive athletic workouts, or if by chance you catch a bug, you want to recuperate quickly. So in this webinar, we're going to look at what is glutathione and what is Immunocal, which is a nutritional strategy proven to raise glutathione levels. And then we'll do a little bit of kind of Q&A at the end about specifics about using Immunocal. And I don't think I want to stop for long things during this, but if you have a quick question as we go along, feel free to interrupt me, and I'll answer it quickly if I can. So, challenges to your health. Well, all kinds of external stresses in the environment, toxins, air pollution, chemicals, you name it, and internal stresses. Just from wear and tear of daily life, most of us have things that stress us out. And all of those things put your immune system to work. It's your immune system that protects you from all those stresses. And I think you're totally aware that the immune system has to do with helping you stay well and not succumb to bacteria and viruses and parasites, fungi, all that kind of thing. But you might not also think of your immune system in terms of getting rid of toxins in your body, whether it's environmental pollutions, drugs that you take on purpose, or sometimes chemicals you don't even mean to get into your system. Not to mention the immune system taking care of inflammation situations. Also, the immune system every day is getting rid of cancer cells out of your body. Thank you very much, immune system. It's handling the byproducts of stress and also of aging. So, my goodness, the immune system has a huge job description. And to improve your immune system, pretty common knowledge, you get good food, you get good sleep, good exercise, minimize your stress, and yippee, raise glutathione, whatever that is. Let's find out. So glutathione is a molecule. It's made from 3 amino acids. It's in every single cell of your body. Every cell makes it. And in 1888, my grandma was born, and scientists discovered Immunocal for the first time when they were researching cataracts in eye problems. And if you go to this website, pubmed.com, I just checked tonight, it's well over 117,000 published research articles now on glutathione. So in the research community, glutathione is extremely well known, and it's being looked at for a lot of different situations. So why on earth is glutathione so important? We're going to use this acronym AN-IDEA. AN stands for antioxidant, I for immune system, D for detoxification, E for energy, and A for anti-aging. So what's oxidation? Everybody knows things rust. That's an oxidative process. When you see an apple that's cut and it starts browning on the exposed parts, that's oxidation. And when fire burns, that is oxidation. So when wood oxidizes or burns, it creates heat and light and ash. And in your cells, when you oxidize your nutrition, you get warmth, you get energy to live, and you get ash or free radicals. So free radicals are kind of the garbage byproduct of your metabolism. They're totally inevitable. You're not going to have no free radicals, but you need to have abundant antioxidants to eliminate the free radicals and keep them under control. Uncontrolled, the free radicals can take little bites out of your cells. They can take bites out of your DNA. In any case, it is not good for your health to have those guys running loose and damaging your system. If you've ever seen those, what they call liver spots or age spots, those brown spots on people's skin, especially when you see people 70, 80 years old, sometimes their arms are almost wall-to-wall brown spots. That is uncontrolled free radicals. Many symptoms of aging are symptoms of free radical damage. Hundreds of disease processes are symptoms of free radical damage. And faulty cell replication, including cancers, is a sign of free radical damage, uncontrolled free radicals. So it's an important issue. There's a whole branch of medicine now dealing with free radicals and antioxidants. So the antioxidants that everybody knows about, everybody knows vitamin C, vitamin E, you might have heard of selenium, some of these others, melatonin, pycnogenol. Glutathione is the only antioxidant that your cells actually make for themselves. And because of that, it's called the master antioxidant, and also because it empowers. It's the master antioxidant because it helps all the other antioxidants work properly. And it's often called the single most important molecule in your body. My goodness, that's a big claim. So there's our antioxidants over here, the vitamin C and E and their friends, and they hand off those free radicals to the glutathione molecule, which processes them, gets them right out of the cells, and glutathione itself reconstitutes itself with an enzyme, goes right back to work. It's a beautiful, beautiful circular process, and it's the way you're meant to get rid of free radicals from your system. Now, moving on to the immune system. I for the immune system. Dr. Jimmy Gutman, who works very closely with us here at Immunotech, has said that glutathione is food for the immune system. Glutathione is absolutely necessary to make white blood cells. So that's why it's called food for the immune system. You need those white blood cells to gobble up the bacteria and the viruses and everything else that you don't want in your blood. And then there's this slightly esoteric, but I think fascinating thing. The immune system and the muscles all need glutathione. The body will sacrifice its own muscle tissue to get nutrients to make glutathione for the immune system. So it won't sacrifice the muscles on a daily basis, but if you start running short on glutathione and you don't have the nutrients to make it, the body will actually swipe those nutrients from its own muscles, destroy the muscles, to keep the immune system working properly. Very important. Detoxification. So I think it's pretty common knowledge, whether it's your water, stuff you inhale, chemicals around the house, there are toxins in all areas of our environment. And every one of your organs uses glutathione to detoxify, to take those toxins out of the body. The liver uses large amounts of glutathione to neutralize everything from the fumes you inhale at the gas pump to heavy metals, gets them out of your body. The kidneys use glutathione to protect against the toxins that pass through. The lungs use glutathione because even though they're inside your body, they're exposed to the external environment when you breathe, and that glutathione helps protect them against inhaled toxins. And your eyes, remember glutathione being discovered in research on cataracts. The eyes make glutathione to protect themselves against ultraviolet radiation and diminish issues such as cataracts. So every cell in your body uses glutathione. It makes its own glutathione and uses glutathione, and that includes your brain and muscles, blood vessels, skin, digestion. And you can just think, what happens if your brain, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, some kind of brain issue, or your digestion stops working? Blood vessels, what does that mean? Can you say heart attack? or stroke. That's a blood vessel issue, and it is involved in this glutathione and detoxification issue. So, important stuff. E for energy. Beautiful study was done, published in 1999 in the Journal of Applied Physiology. Healthy young athletes for 6 or 8 weeks, placebo-controlled study, and the athletes who were using the Immunocal saw a 13% increase in their muscle strength and endurance as compared to a very, very slight increase for the athletes who were on the placebo. So that's huge for athletes, but it's huge for anybody who just wants to stay well and strong throughout their whole lifespan. Now, there's this thing called biological value. It's a standard measure of how well a protein is digested, utilized, retained. And we've got a few here on the list. Tofu is the 64, beef is more, eggs more. Whey protein, which is known as a very fine source of protein, is at 100 on this scale. And Immunocal, 159, a BV of 159. Exceptionally high quality, digestible, usable, and complete protein. So A for anti-aging sounds like a good thing to do. You'll see in this study that was published in The Lancet, as people got older and bit by bit got sicker, that was correlated with their glutathione levels decreasing. Switch that around and you can say that as you help the older people increase their glutathione levels, they're going to become increasingly more well. And we have seen that happen for a lot of folks. So the problem is we're using up our glutathione every day, partly because of the free radicals and partly because there's so much toxic stuff in our environment. And there's all these things that use up that glutathione, whether it's stress, pollution, even aging, radiation. And as the glutathione runs short, the cells start aging, disease processes come in, and eventually you're toast, you're gone, can no longer live. So, you might be wondering, goodness sakes, how do I increase this glutathione stuff? Good question. To increase glutathione, well, it doesn't work to take a glutathione capsule, even though you could buy one in the health food store, because digestion destroys it. So it's not a good strategy. Every cell has to make its own glutathione, and it's hard to get enough cysteine, one of those 3 amino acids. We get glutamate, we get glycine in our diet, no problem. Cysteine tends to run short. So typically, where do you get cysteine? Well, there is one drug. They use it in the emergency room if somebody comes in with a Tylenol overdose. It prevents their liver from falling apart and saves their life, called N-acetylcysteine. It works in that crunch situation, but it is a drug, it does have side effects, and it is not meant as a daily life strategy. So the rest of these foods that you're looking on the list, you see the word raw, vegetables, meats, eggs, raw cow's milk, hard to get, human breast milk, well, talk about hard to get. So none of these foods is particularly common in our diet. Immunocal does supply cysteine, and we even have this statement, Immunocal is a natural source of the glutathione precursor cysteine for the maintenance of a strong immune system. And that statement is published in an article on Immunocal in the CPS, the Canadian drug guide that every medical doctor uses to look up any medication they can use. And even though Immunocal is a food, it's not technically a medication. The quality of the research earned it a place in that CPS. So Immunocal is what we call an undenatured whey protein isolate. Undenatured because it's cold processed, and that keeps all the nutrition in really good condition. Pasteurization breaks the cysteine, and that's why we're missing it from our dairy products. Immunocal is an extremely easily digested protein that we talked about, even for people, shall we say, maybe a kidney patient who has to really watch how much protein they use. This would be an excellent source of protein for them. The cows that provide our milk for Immunocal are pastured in Idaho in about as clean an environment as they could find. They don't receive any chemicals, no hormones, steroids, antibiotics. And to make one box of Immunocal, one box with 30 packets in it. You have to start with 500 liters of milk. It's well over 125 gallons of milk. You remove the butterfat, remove the lactose, the casein or cheese protein. So you can say it takes over 4 gallons of milk to just make one packet of this stuff. So you can imagine there's a bit of expense involved in producing Immunocal to start.
A little more than maple syrup.
Is it really?
Yeah, maple syrup, 40 gallons to 1.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So both of them expensive products, but you're not going to get much protein from the maple syrup. So
No.
Get some other good things, I must say. So where did this stuff come from? Wonderful doctor called Dr. Gustavo Bunos, an Italian man who immigrated to Canada. He was a professor of surgery at the University of Sherbrooke and also McGill University. When he was only 36 years old, Bunos did research that led to something called the elemental diet, which is still used in hospitals today. And because of developing that elemental diet, he was awarded the Medal of the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada. He was the youngest recipient of that award. And as a recipient of that medal, the Medical Research Council of Canada funded all his research till he retired. So in a sense, you can say that the government of Canada did the research leading to this product, Immunocal. Dr. Bunos is sometimes known as the grandfather of glutathione and the immune system. So, who else documents that there's some value here? There are over 70 international method of use patents. Method of use patents are what Immunocal is effective for. So there is a method of use patent that says that this product supports a strong, healthy, well-functioning immune system. And there are also other patents which you can look up on the patent sites in Canada, the U.S. Over 36 peer-reviewed published studies. Health Canada gave it a natural product number, and because of that, it earned its place in the CPS, that drug guide we talked about for Canada. It's also listed in the drug guide in the U.S., the Pharmacist Red Book in the U.S., and Medicare and Medicaid in the USA honors Immunocal in certain states for certain conditions. It will actually cover the use of Immunocal. Excuse me. So you can see it's got an interesting pedigree for a nutritional product. So in summary, the benefits of Immunocal, it helps all your antioxidants work as they should. It optimizes the immune system, and it also helps to eliminate or avoid autoimmune conditions. It works with improved cellular detoxification, which often means you can reduce body fat, helps to increase muscle mass, raise your energy levels, and help with physical strength and endurance. A couple stories. We've had one young man who had one very life-threatening asthma attack at age 8. His family put him on Immunocal right after that. He's now into his 20s. He has never had a second asthma attack. Ethan, diagnosed with serious autism, and his family had done a lot of work to try to reverse the symptoms of his autism, and they finally came to try Immunocal, and what they saw within weeks, big changes in terms of his eating normally and conversing normally for the first time in his life, and many other beautiful changes. Very, very exciting. Lorraine, diagnosed at age 41 right after giving birth to her third child with a very serious cancer. Her prognosis was maybe 3 years. Well, it's well over 6 years since that diagnosis. She's well, she's healthy. She's the only one in her treatment cohort who's required no further treatment because there's no further cancer. Very exciting. And it was her oral surgeon dad who recommended and helped make sure that she used this product during her treatments and recovery. And lest you think this is just for sick people, we have quite a number of elite athletes, Olympic athletes. Montreal Impact soccer team is all using Immunocal and other related products. Canadian rowing team uses it. And these athletes use Immunocal to avoid infections, to improve their workouts, and recover faster from their exercise. A man named Gabriel Philippi, on his third attempt, managed to summit Mount Everest, place an Immunotech flag up there. And he was the only Westerner breathing on the top of Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen. Connie, did you want to mention just quickly something that you've noticed for yourself with Immunocal?
Oh, just that I used to, get colds, pneumonia, bronchitis, kind of every type of infection going, severe migraines, lupus-type symptoms. And then finally, with my immune system being so bad, I ended up with cancer and 7 weeks of radiation, and decided I had to get an alternative way of helping myself. And now, after taking Immunocal, most of my symptoms are better or disappeared, and I've been cancer-free and getting to enjoy my life again.
That sounds
I'm
all
really
right.
happy about that.
And are you missing some of the medications you used to be on?
Yes, I finally got off of Tylenol 3s, which is really good for my liver, and I no longer take blood pressure pills.
Huh. And you came and sang in a choir that I direct.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, now that I don't cough all winter, I can, for the first time, sing in a choir.
Super.
So that's pretty neat, yeah.
Isn't that nice? Very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So, other benefits you might see, more than just alleviating colds and flus, restoring bone health. You can think of the conditions that are behind these little phrases. Brain health, healthy pets and livestock, lung function. We've actually seen people reverse emphysema, among other things. Prostate health, eyesight and eye health. Interesting results there. Digestion, allergies disappearing. Connie, I think you had some of that. Big improvements with diabetes for a lot of folks, and a variety of other things. So you can see, when you talk about improving the immune system, you're talking some big changes. So now there is a second generation Immunocal product. It's especially for people over middle age or people with very serious medical conditions. So it has all those same benefits we've already talked about for regular Immunocal, plus some added chemistry that makes it alkalizing, giving you a very healthful pH, which means you have less illness and healthier, happier bones. More effective with repairing any DNA damage that might have occurred, stabilizing blood sugar levels, which is something the diabetics are especially enthusiastic about, naturally reducing inflammation. We have a lot of people seeing things that hurt, not hurting anymore, helping muscle function, and as we said, especially for people over age 50 and with underlying medical conditions. So Immunocal Platinum, they're the only dietary supplements scientifically proven and patented to consistently raise glutathione levels within the cells. And the research to that effect is so well documented that we can make that as a public claim. So the company Immunotech was founded in 1996 to bring Immunocal to the public. It's located just west of Montreal in Quebec, Canada. It offers now, in addition to the flagship Immunocal products, has a limited line of very high-quality nutritional and wellness products and ships directly to customers throughout North America, the UK, Ireland, and some of the Caribbean islands. And people who choose to order Immunocal work directly with an independent representative such as myself or Connie, Dan, who are on the line. Sometimes people wonder, well, if this stuff is what you say it is, why is it being marketed by people like Linda and Connie and Dan? It's an interesting situation. It is a pharmaceutical-grade product. The original plan was to license it for marketing through a pharmaceutical distribution company. And with several of those companies, the medical staff gave their go-ahead. They said it was great. They were happy with it. But the marketing department said the profit margin was too small. You remember all those gallons of milk that have to be processed? Profit margin was too small for the drug companies. One final company agreed and actually drafted a contract for Immunotech to sign, but their medical officer of health, the medical director, came to Immunotech's co-owner and said, I advise you against signing this contract and working with my company because either they will probably hide the product or they'll combine it with a pharmaceutical product. In any case, the Immunocal is not going to see the public the way it should. And this man had seen great benefit to his family members and didn't want to see the product damaged. And that same fellow, medical director, recommended that Immunotech choose network marketing because the word-of-mouth advertising would be the best option for getting this product out in the world. Pretty interesting story. So, Immunocal uniquely designed to help people perform at optimal levels, people, as you can see, of any age. So maybe just a quick Q&A. It's safe for people of all ages and also animals, pregnant and nursing moms. The only cautions, if you're on a protein-restricted diet, you just need to count the protein in this product as part of your protein. You want to avoid it or be very cautious with Immunocal if you've had a full organ transplant, like a liver or kidney, that kind of thing. And the only people who are generally allergic to Immunocal are people who are out and out allergic specifically to human breast milk. It is a powder, so you mix it in a juice, a beverage, stir it into yogurt or applesauce, into your smoothie. You can take up to 2 of those 10-gram packets at once.
It always should be a cold beverage, right?
Definitely. Yeah, you don't want to heat it too hot because, as we said, the heat denatures the protein. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Young people, 1 packet is enough to just keep them healthy. Children and pets, there's this little formula which we'll remind you of later if you're helping a child or a pet. People in their 40s and older are recommended to use 2 packets a day just as maintenance, health maintenance, and preferably at that age, at least 1 packet of platinum in those 2. People doing strenuous exercise or seeking to regain their self, like when Connie was coming back from the situations that she had to deal with, those people are typically using 3 or 4 packets a day. We've had people with life-threatening situations take as many as 6 packets a day, sometimes even 8. That's not a long-term strategy, but it gets you through a serious life-threatening crunch. And prices, typically for the Immunocal product, the retail customer pays $99 for a box. A monthly customer who can cancel whenever they choose is just under $80. And the wholesale customer pays just under $70. And then you could talk to us at some point about specials, because there are always specials popping up that make those prices even lower. So at this point, you're probably a 1, a 2, or a 3, and a 3 is like, well, gosh, this was really interesting. I'll tell my friends about it. I'll talk to you later. And a 2 is, I'm very, very interested. I want to ask you some questions, and let's make a point to talk. And a 1 is, my goodness, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Perhaps you can help me order. And if you're especially a 1 or a 2, actually 1, a 2, or a 3, get back to the person who invited you to listen in and let them know what you thought and what you need to know. So I want to thank you for your attention and for going from beginning to end on our little presentation here. We've got a couple minutes. Dan or Connie, do you have any questions you want to throw out for us?
There was something there. One of the slides back a bit. I can't remember which one it was now, but there was something there that crossed my mind.
Yep.
If you could just flip back on the.
Oh, can you remember the question?
I can't remember what page it was on. Oh, jeez. Take over there, Connie. I'll see if I can find it on my other device.
I think it's important to let people know, too, maybe that there's a lot of really excellent studies going on, and that they were just showing that the elderly, like you mentioned about taking the cysteine from the muscles, they just showed an elderly study that 10% increase in muscle strength, which is really good.
Right.
For anybody that's trying to get some of their strength back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really excited about the autism study, like
Mm-hmm.
you were mentioning about little Ethan. So it'll be really good to get the final results for that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
And that it's helping with Alzheimer's. That's another one. I think it's fantastic the way they put so much money in. As Dr. Gutman says, it's just research, research, research.
Mhm.
Really is the difference between Immunotech and how we get into the CPS and PDR. And it's just a great company.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you. I think for the moment I'm going to stop our recording and then we can converse for a few more minutes.
Okay.